Some people don't want to learn from you, they want to replace you. But what they don't realize is, you can mimic the steps, but you can't recreate the soul. They watched you, studied you, took notes like obsessed fans pretending to be critics. They traced your steps, borrowed your words, mimicked your glow, but something was always off. No matter how much they tried to imitate, they always fell short. Because what you carry isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. You aren't just moving, you're evolving. You aren't just shining, you're radiating something they'll never understand. They thought they could wear your crown without carrying your weight, copy your style without earning the substance. But no matter how hard they try to mirror your reflection, their glass is always cracked. They want your energy, but they don't want the work that built it. They crave your results, but they aren't willing to endure the process. They see your glow, but they don't understand the storms that shaped your fire, and that's why they will always fail. But listen, this message isn't for them. This is for you, the one they can't stop watching, the blueprint, the original, the force that can't be replicated. If you're here, it's because you already feel it deep inside. You've seen it with your own eyes, people switching up, watching you a little too closely, repeating your words like they discovered something new. But no matter how much they mimic, they never quite get it right. Why? Because your energy wasn't built in imitation. It was forged in transformation. You didn't just wake up like this. You rose from battles they wouldn't survive. And right now, we're about to expose why they try so hard to be like you, and why they fail every single time. But before we dive in, if you know you're the one they can't replace, if you've seen people try to copy your essence but never match your level, hit that like button and subscribe. Not just for you, but to help spread this message to more people like you. When you engage, it signals to the algorithm that this truth needs to be heard. Because let's be real, more people need to understand why their enemies stay watching from the sidelines, stuck in the shadows of what they can never be. See, when you carry a rare energy, it does more than inspire. It haunts. It haunts those who once underestimated you. It torments those who tried to compete but couldn't keep up. It leaves a mark so deep that even after you're long gone, your presence still lingers in their mind. The power of being unique isn't just about success, it's about impact. You don't just pass through people's lives, you leave them changed, whether they admit it or not. And the ones who tried to steal your essence without understanding your journey, they're left confused, frustrated, stuck in a cycle of imitation that never leads to elevation. They thought they could take shortcuts, steal your style, copy your mindset. But what they didn't realize is, you weren't just doing, you were becoming. And becoming is something you can't fake. It's something you earn through resilience, transformation, and alignment with your higher purpose. You were never meant to blend in, never meant to follow trends. You were meant to set them. And now, while they scramble, while they chase, while they try to keep up, you've already moved on to the next level. And that's what burns them the most. And thank you. Yes, you. The one they can't replace. Whether you're here for the first time or you've been locked in with this journey, your presence and super gifts are the energy that keeps this mission growing. If you're ready to step into your power, rise above the imitators, and own your uniqueness like never before, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop the number 77 in the comments to claim your authenticity. Because while they waste time copying, you're evolving into something they'll never reach. Let's get started. Number 1. They steal your style but they can't steal your substance. Wearing the uniform doesn't make you a soldier. They put on your look, but they can't walk your path. They watch from the sidelines, eyes locked on your every move, trying to mirror your essence like it's a performance they can perfect. They copy your words, your rhythm, your mannerisms, thinking that if they dress like you, talk like you, move like you, they'll somehow become you. But what they don't realize is style is just the cover. Substance is the story. They don't understand that what makes you stand out isn't just what you wear, what you say, or how you present yourself. It's what you've survived. It's the fire that burned away the weakness, the battles that shaped your resilience, the lessons that carved out your wisdom. They imitate the finished product, but never walked through the storm that created it. That's why, no matter how much they try, it never feels real. It never feels earned. It never lasts. You see it everywhere. They pick up on your confidence, your energy, your vibe, but it all comes off forced, awkward, unnatural. That's because authenticity isn't a costume, it's currency, and they're broke. You didn't just wake up with presence, you built it through every moment of isolation, through every setback, through every time you had to pick yourself up when no one else was there to catch you. They want the shine, but they don't want the struggle. And that's why they will always remain a shadow, never the source. Look at history, look at the legends. Michael Jordan wasn't great because he wore a jersey. He was great because of the hours of sweat, discipline and work he put in when nobody was watching. That's why every so-called next Jordan fades into the background. Because you can imitate the moves, but you can't steal the drive. Steve Jobs wasn't revolutionary because he wore a black turtleneck. It was because he saw the world differently, because he was willing to think and create at a level others weren't prepared for. People have copied Apple's designs for decades, but they still haven't matched the vision. Oprah, Elon Musk, Kobe Bryant, Beyoncé. What made them icons wasn't their style, it was their soul. And that's the part they will never have. Right now, you might be asking yourself, why do they even try? Why do people obsess over you, copy you, yet act like they don't see you? Because deep down, they know you're the original. They know that what you have is rare, and it burns them inside that they don't have it. It's human nature. People fear what they can't understand, and they envy what they can't have. They try to reduce your greatness to the things they can copy, because accepting the truth, that you are simply different, would force them to acknowledge their own limitations. And that's too much for them to handle. But here's where you win. The universe didn't give you this energy just to blend in. It didn't shape you through struggle just to have your power stolen by frauds. You don't need to defend yourself or waste time exposing them. Their failure is their exposure. No matter how much they try to copy, they'll always be a step behind. No matter how much they study you, they'll never master what comes naturally to you. So let them steal your style. Let them borrow your words. Let them mimic your energy. Because at the end of the day, a copy will always be a copy, and the original will always be priceless. Number 2. They try to walk like you, but they trip over their own ego. Confidence is quiet, insecurity is loud. That's why they do too much trying to prove they're you. They study your movements, try to copy your aura, mimic the way you carry yourself. They observe how people respect you, how rooms shift when you enter, how opportunities seem to chase you down while they struggle just to get noticed. And instead of looking inward and leveling up the right way, they take the lazy route. They imitate. But here's the thing about real confidence. It can't be copied, only cultivated. You didn't fake it till you made it. You built it from scratch. From every challenge that forced you to stand up taller, every doubt you had to crush, every moment you had to walk into a room alone, knowing you were enough. Your confidence isn't a performance, it's a presence. And no matter how hard they try to replicate it, theirs always looks like an act. They try to walk like you, but they trip over their own ego every time, because they don't get it. Confidence isn't about being loud, flexing, or forcing people to notice you. Confidence is a silent weapon. It speaks before you do. It moves before you take a step. It's felt, not announced. And that's why they fail every single time. They overdo it. They try too hard to be seen, to be heard, to be validated, and in the process, they expose their insecurity. They need an audience to feel valuable, but you could be in a room full of people or standing alone, and your presence still holds power. Think about the greats. Look at Muhammad Ali. His confidence wasn't just in his words, it was in his presence. He knew he was great before the world did. Look at Rihanna. She doesn't scream for attention. She walks into a room and lets her energy do the talking. That's what real confidence looks like. And that's exactly what your imitators will never master. They think confidence is about controlling how others see them, but in reality, it's about how you see yourself. And that's where they fall apart. Because deep down, they don't trust their own value. That's why they cling to your image, hoping it will make up for what they lack. But no matter how many masks they wear, their insecurity still leaks through the cracks. And you might be wondering, why do they care so much? Why are they obsessed with proving they can be me? Because your existence reminds them of their own shortcomings. Your confidence isn't just inspiring, it's triggering. Every time they see you move effortlessly, every time they see you take up space without seeking permission, it reminds them of the fear they're still trapped in. So they overcompensate. They talk too much, flex too hard, try too desperately to force the same reaction you get naturally. And the irony, the more they try, the more obvious it becomes that they aren't built like you. You don't have to force people to notice you. They're drawn to you. You don't have to shout to prove you belong. Your presence alone makes it undeniable. And while they waste their energy chasing approval, you just keep walking in purpose. That's why they will always be a step behind. The universe didn't design you to blend in. You were meant to move differently, to lead effortlessly, to exist boldly. Let them copy, let them try, because at the end of the day, confidence can't be imitated, it has to be earned. And they don't have what it takes. Number 3, they copy your words, but they don't have your wisdom. They repeat what you say, but they don't understand what it means. They echo your words like they discovered them first. They repeat your phrases, your insights, your advice. But something's always off. It sounds empty, forced, hollow. Because wisdom isn't about memorizing powerful words. It's about living them. And that's where they fail. They see the way you speak and how it moves people, how your words carry weight, how when you say something, it sticks. They see how your voice shifts the energy in a room, how people listen, not just because of what you say, but because they know you've lived it. They crave that same respect, that same impact, so they do what they always do. They steal. But here's what they don't understand. A parrot can repeat a phrase. That doesn't make it wise. They don't get that your words carry power because they were forged in fire. Every lesson, every insight, every truth you speak came from experience, from survival, from doing the hard work they avoid. They want the finished product, but they never earned the process. That's why when they try to use your words, they fall flat. People sense it. The energy isn't there. the depth is missing. Because you can't fake wisdom, you have to earn it. Think about it. How many people have tried to copy the words of Maya Angelou, Bruce Lee, Carl Jung, or Nipsey Hussle, thinking that just repeating their wisdom will give them the same power? But there's a difference between quoting greatness and understanding it. That's why their words fade into the background while the originals remain timeless. Wisdom isn't about knowing the right words. It's about becoming the kind of person who carries meaning behind them. And no matter how hard they try, they can't copy that. And you might ask yourself, if they don't have wisdom, why do they still try to sound like me? Because they want the illusion of depth without actually doing the work to grow. They want to sound powerful without actually being powerful. But that's the thing. Words alone don't make someone impactful. Energy does. Presence does. Experience does. When you speak, people listen because they can feel the truth behind it. They know you didn't just read about pain, you survived it. They know you didn't just hear about resilience, you built it from the ground up. And that's something no thief, no copycat, no imitator can ever steal. That's why, no matter how much they try, they always get exposed. They talk in circles. They say a lot but mean nothing. They throw around deep-sounding phrases, hoping to impress. But their own life contradicts every word. Because wisdom isn't in what you say, it's in how you live. And the universe always reveals who's real and who's pretending. So let them copy. Let them repeat your words like they're reading from a script. Because at the end of the day, wisdom isn't worn, it's earned. And no matter how many times they try to sound like you, they will always be nothing more than an empty echo. Number 4, they try to match your energy, but they burn out. Your glow is natural, theirs is borrowed, and batteries die fast. They watch you move, watch how people gravitate toward you, watch how you shine without even trying, and it eats them up inside. They see how effortlessly you command attention, spark conversations, and shift atmospheres without forcing a thing. So they do what they always do. They copy, they imitate, they try to move like you. But here's the problem. They're running on borrowed fuel. What you have isn't something you can fake. Your energy isn't hype. It's alignment. It's purpose. It's something deeper than just being seen or standing out. You're not chasing validation. You're not performing for approval. You're simply being who you are, and that's why it works. Meanwhile, they exhaust themselves trying to match your energy, not realizing that what you have can't be duplicated, only cultivated. It's like watching someone try to copy the sun's glow with a flashlight. Temporary, weak, and always fading. And that's why they burn out. They force enthusiasm, push out artificial confidence, fake a vibe that was never theirs to begin with. They hype themselves up, create a persona, build a version of themselves that they think will get them the same response you get naturally. But the difference between authentic energy and performative energy is endurance. You keep going even when no one's watching. You stay shining even when no one's applauding. You rise even when they're waiting for you to fall. Because what fuels you is real. They, on the other hand, can only keep up for so long before their cracks start to show. Their energy isn't sourced from within. It's borrowed from what they think they should be. And sooner or later, the performance drains them. Think about it. How many people have tried to replicate greatness only to collapse under the weight of it? How many so-called leaders put on a front, only to fade away once the act was too exhausting to maintain? Look at Michael Jordan, look at Serena Williams, look at Jay-Z. Their energy didn't come from hype. It came from alignment, from purpose, from a deep-rooted connection to something greater. That's why no matter how many people tried to mimic them, nobody ever truly replaced them. And that's what separates you. You aren't forcing it. You aren't faking motivation or chasing a trend. You move with intention, with clarity, with a foundation that can't be shaken. And because of that, your energy is limitless. And you might wonder, why do they even try? Because deep down, they see it. They see that what you have is different, that your glow is undeniable, that your presence is something that can't be ignored. And that realization, it scares them, because it means you're playing a different game than they are. So they try to keep up, to match your rhythm, to mimic your flow. But every step drains them more. They pretend they're unfazed, that they have the same drive, the same resilience, the same impact. But the universe doesn't reward performances, it rewards authenticity. And that's why they keep failing. Because while they're busy burning themselves out, trying to force what comes naturally to you, you just keep going, effortless, unbothered, untouchable. So let them run themselves dry. Let them chase a version of you that they'll never be able to sustain. Because at the end of the day, batteries die. But your energy, that's forever. Number 5. They want your spotlight, but they can't handle the heat. They thought they wanted the throne until they saw how heavy the crown was. They watch you from the sidelines, obsessed with how the light follows you, how people respect you, how you stand in rooms with presence that can't be ignored. They want that. They want the attention, the influence, the recognition. But they don't want the weight that comes with it. They see the crown, but not the pressure. They see the throne, but not the battle it took to sit there. They see the success, but not the sleepless nights, the sacrifice, the discipline. They crave the rewards, but they avoid the responsibility. They think greatness is about being seen, about being admired, about having people clap for them. But true greatness is built in the moments no one sees. When you were grinding alone, when you were doubted, when you had to keep going, even when nothing was working in your favor. They envy your wins, but they don't have the heart to endure your losses. And that's why they'll always fall apart when the pressure hits. They try to take shortcuts to the top, only to realize there's no elevator to greatness. They thought they could copy their way into success, thought they could fake their way into leadership, thought they could wear the title without putting in the sweat, the tears, the sacrifice. But the universe doesn't reward frauds. Every throne comes with a test, and those who aren't built for it get crushed under the weight. Look at history. LeBron James didn't just step into the NBA and demand respect. He worked relentlessly, outperformed, outlasted, and kept proving why he belonged at the top. Oprah Winfrey didn't just get handed influence, she endured rejection, discrimination, and doubt, yet kept rising until her presence was undeniable. Even Elon Musk, whether you like him or not, didn't build his empire on shortcuts. He took risks, bet on himself, and worked harder than anyone else in the room. That's the difference between you and them. You didn't just want success, you became the kind of person who deserved it. You paid your dues, you walked through the fire, you stood strong when others folded. And now, while they try to steal your spotlight, they can't even handle the heat that comes with it. And maybe you're wondering, why do they act like they want what I have, but then run from the responsibility? Because they only see the highlight reel. They don't see what happens behind the scenes. They don't see the doubt you had to push through. They don't see the moments you almost quit. They don't see the self-discipline it takes to maintain your position. They want the benefits without the burden. But the truth is, there are no free crowns. If you didn't earn it, you won't keep it. That's why you see people fading away, burning out, exposing themselves, because they tried to skip the process. They tried to wear a title that their character couldn't support, and the weight of their own fraudulence will always pull them down. Let them chase your spotlight. Let them crave your position, because at the end of the day, the light exposes everything, including who's real and who's not. And while they struggle under the pressure, you're just getting started. Number 6. They thought replacing you would be easy. Now they're drowning in regret. They thought they could swap you out like a cheap part. Now their machine is broken. They thought they were being smart, thought they had you all figured out, thought they could remove you like you were just another replaceable piece in their puzzle, like you were just a temporary fixture in their world. They assumed they could find another you, someone easier, someone more controllable, someone who wouldn't make them confront their own shortcomings. But the second you walked away, everything started falling apart, because what they failed to realize is this: you weren't just a part of their life, you were the foundation holding it together, and the moment you left, everything they thought they built came crashing down. They laughed at first, acted unbothered, like losing you was just another decision, like you were replaceable. They surrounded themselves with distractions, convinced themselves they had upgraded, paraded around their new situation like it was something better. But what happened? Reality hit. Because when you left, you didn't just take your presence, you took your energy, your wisdom, your light. They thought they could push you aside and fill your spot with a cheaper copy. But what they got was an empty shell, a downgrade, a hollow replacement that could never hold the weight of what you carried. See, some people don't realize you were the reason their life was balanced. You were the one bringing clarity, stability, and growth. You were the force that elevated them, whether they admitted it or not. They were winning because they had access to your mind, your strength, your energy. They mistook it as their own success. And now they sit in their own mess, watching you thrive, knowing they can never get that version of you back. They're feeling it. The silence where your wisdom used to be, the emptiness where your presence used to fill the space, the struggle that suddenly became real without you there to guide, to uplift, to protect. They thought they could just cut you off and keep winning, but you weren't just another piece on their chessboard. You were the reason they were even playing the game at all. Look at history. Look at the ones who got too comfortable, who thought their most valuable players were replaceable. Steve Jobs got pushed out of Apple, and what happened? The company suffered until they had to bring him back. They thought they could replace the visionary, the mind, the force behind the success. But they couldn't. The same applies here. They lost you, and now they have to sit in that loss. And you might ask yourself, why did they think they could replace me so easily? Because they never truly understood your worth. You made it look easy. You carried things so well that they thought your presence was optional, that your influence was just a small factor, that anyone could step in and do what you did. But the universe has a way of teaching lessons, and now they're learning the hard way. Now they're seeing the difference between what they had and what they settled for. They're seeing that no matter how much they try to convince themselves they made the right choice, their life hasn't been the same since you left. And the worst part, they can't undo it. You're not looking back. You're rising. You're thriving. You're stepping into a new level of success and peace while they're stuck in the wreckage of their own decisions. That's why regret is the worst kind of punishment, because it doesn't just remind them of what they lost, it reminds them that they did it to themselves. So let them watch. Let them sit in the emptiness they created. Let them drown in the regret that will follow them for a lifetime. Because once you replace gold with garbage, you don't get a second chance. Number 7. They copy your hustle, but they can't keep up. They see the shine but ignore the grind. That's why they stay losing. They want your success, your level, your results, but they don't want your process. They don't want the nights you sacrificed, the battles you fought, the countless times you had to pick yourself up when no one was there to help. They see the finished product and assume they can shortcut their way to the top. But the truth? They don't have the endurance. You built your empire brick by brick, from the ground up, with your own sweat, your own strategy, your own resilience. Every step was earned. Every level required sacrifice. Every breakthrough came with battle scars. They don't see that part. They just see the shine. And in their mind, if they just copy your moves, they'll end up where you are. But the difference is, you were running a marathon while they were looking for an escalator. They try to skip steps and wonder why their foundation crumbles. Because hustle isn't about what you do when people are watching. It's about what you do when no one sees. And that's where they fail every time. They show up when it looks good, when it's time to post results, when it's time to claim success. But they weren't there in the trenches. They weren't grinding at 2 a.m. They weren't pushing forward when every part of you wanted to quit, but you refused to give up. That's why, no matter how much they copy, they never catch up. Because this isn't just about actions, it's about mindset. It's about endurance. It's about grit. Think about it. How many people tried to mimic Kobe Bryant's game, but couldn't match his discipline? How many entrepreneurs tried to copy Elon Musk, but couldn't outwork him? How many artists, athletes, and leaders have had imitators, but the copies never last? Because real greatness isn't something you imitate, it's something you become. And you became this through the struggle, through the grind, through the pressure. They want the rewards without the struggle. They want the title without the work. But life doesn't work like that. The universe doesn't reward frauds. It rewards the ones who show up, who put in the work, who push past every obstacle, who take the hits and keep moving forward. And you might be wondering, why do they think they can take what I built? Because they think success is a formula, not a journey. They think that if they just follow the steps, they'll get the results. But what they fail to realize is, your results didn't come from steps. They came from character. Your discipline, your relentless mindset, your refusal to break, even when everything was against you. They don't have that. That's why they give up the moment it gets hard. That's why they try to take credit for things they didn't build. Try to sneak their way into rooms they didn't earn. Try to act like they're on your level when they haven't even passed the test. And the funniest part? You outwork them without even trying. Because this isn't something you do, it's something you are. Your hustle is in your DNA. Your resilience is part of you. It's why you keep rising while they keep falling back. It's why, no matter how much they copy, they will always remain a step behind, exhausted, unable to keep up with a pace they were never built for. So let them try, let them mimic, copy, take notes, and think they're closing the gap. Because while they're busy pretending, you're still moving, still evolving, still reaching new levels that they'll never touch. And that's why you'll always be the leader while they stay losing. Number 8. They try to steal your friends, but they get exposed. They thought it was about popularity, but real ones know the difference between a king and a clown. They thought it would be easy, thought they could step into your circle, whisper the right things, perform the right tricks, and take your place. They assumed loyalty was just a game of convenience, that people stick around because of proximity, not connection. But what they never realized is this: real ones recognize real. And no matter how much they try to fill your space, a copy will always feel like a fraud. They tried to turn your allies against you, planting seeds of doubt, throwing dirt on your name, hoping people would forget who you really are. They moved behind the scenes, pretending to be a better version of you, twisting facts, manipulating emotions, trying to rewrite the story with themselves as the main character. But loyalty isn't something you steal, it's something you earn. And now they're exposed. Because what they don't get is this: real bonds don't break under pressure. They reveal themselves. The people who truly stand by you, they've seen your journey, they've witnessed your growth, they know your heart. And no amount of gossip, no amount of imitation, no amount of desperate backstabbing can erase that. They thought it was about popularity. They thought friendship was about who's louder, who's flashier, who puts on the best act. But real ones know the difference between a king and a clown. Look at history. Look at Judas and Jesus. Look at how Brutus turned on Caesar. The betrayer always thinks they've won until the truth exposes them. And that's exactly what happens every time someone tries to replace the irreplaceable. They got comfortable, didn't they? Thought they had convinced everyone. Thought your absence meant victory. Thought they had successfully erased you from the picture. But what they don't understand is this: loyalty isn't something that transfers from person to person like a hand-me-down. People see through the act. They feel the difference between authenticity and performance. Sure, maybe at first they played the part well. Maybe they even fooled a few people. But you never had to act. And that's why they fail. Because eventually, people notice. They start to see the cracks in the performance, the way the energy feels off, the way the laughter doesn't sound as genuine, the way the room feels different without you in it. And then the realization hits. This person isn't the same. They don't inspire, they imitate. They don't lead, they manipulate. They don't bring peace, they stir drama. And one by one, the people they tried so hard to keep start walking away. Because you can borrow someone's style, you can copy their words, you can even sit in their seat for a while, but you can't replace someone's essence. You can't duplicate the energy that makes them irreplaceable. And now they're left alone. They went from trying to steal your circle to finding themselves in the same position they put you in. Isolated, exposed, forgotten, and the best part, you didn't even have to lift a finger. Because when you're real, when you've built your bonds on authenticity and truth, you never have to fight for your place. The universe fights for you. The truth reveals itself. And those who are meant to be in your life, they always find their way back. So let them play their games. Let them scramble for validation. Let them sit in the empty space they created for themselves. Because while they were busy trying to take what you built, you were too busy evolving to care. And that's why, in the end, you always win. Number 9. They thought taking your ideas would make them you, but they forgot the vision. They stole the recipe, but they don't have the secret ingredient. They watch you build, they see the way your ideas flow, and they convince themselves that if they just take your blueprint, they can recreate your success. They hijack your creativity, copy your moves, and mimic your mindset, thinking that if they steal the formula, they'll get the same results. But what they don't realize is that execution separates leaders from followers. You see, they think success is just a series of steps, that if they do what you do, say what you say, and move how you move, they'll get the same outcome. But ideas alone don't build empires. Vision does. And vision is something they will never have. They don't understand that it's not just what you do, it's why you do it. It's the insight behind the action, the strategy behind the execution, the fire that keeps you moving even when the world isn't watching. They want the rewards without the resilience, the finished product without the foundation. And that's why they fail. They think they can recreate the magic by copying the tricks, but a copy without vision is just a shadow, and shadows disappear when the real light shows up. History is filled with people who thought they could steal greatness, but lacked the mind to sustain it. Look at how many companies tried to copy Apple. They took the designs, the product ideas, even the marketing. But Apple didn't dominate because of aesthetics. It dominated because of Steve Jobs' vision. He didn't just see technology, he saw how it could change the world. And that's something no thief can replicate. The same goes for Elon Musk. How many people have tried to create the next Tesla or the next SpaceX? They take the idea, but they don't have the vision, the execution, the relentless drive to push boundaries. That's why they always remain a step behind, chasing shadows, never leading the way. And you might ask yourself, if they lack the vision, why do they still try? Because they don't understand that an idea is worthless without the right mind to bring it to life. They think creativity is just about having good concepts, when in reality, it's about having the ability to turn those concepts into something real. It's the discipline, the patience, the consistency, the things they don't have. That's why they copy, but they never conquer. They take pieces of what you do, hoping it will bring them the same success. But they don't have the full picture. They don't see the long nights, the sacrifices, the strategic moves that make your ideas work. They only see the end result, so they assume they can skip the journey and still arrive at the same destination. But here's what they fail to realize. The power isn't in the idea, it's in the execution. And execution isn't something you can steal, it's something you have to develop. They want your results, but not your discipline. They want your success, but not your sacrifices. They want your glow, but not your grind. And that's why they will always remain in the shadows of what you create. So let them take the recipe. Let them steal the structure. Let them believe they're building something of their own. Because at the end of the day, the real ingredient is you. And that's something they will never, ever have. Number 10. They mocked you, then tried to become you. First they laugh, then they imitate. Funny how that works. At first they had jokes. They called you too much, made fun of your ideas, whispered about how different you were. They watched you move in your own lane, unbothered, confident, and they couldn't stand it. So, they did what small-minded people always do. They mocked what they couldn't understand. You were too ambitious, too bold, too real. They laughed at your dreams, said you were reaching too high, doing too much, thinking too big. They rolled their eyes when you spoke with passion, dismissed your vision like it was a joke. They called your originality weird. But something funny happened. The same ones who mocked you, they started studying you, copying you, trying to be you. They saw your success, saw how people gravitated toward you, saw how your energy couldn't be ignored, and suddenly, the same blueprint they disrespected became their survival manual. They started using your words, mirroring your confidence, following your path like they never doubted you. The same things they laughed at, now they're trying to master. The same style they called too much, now they're wearing. The same energy they once ridiculed, now they're desperate to recreate. Why? Because they realized too late that you were never the fool. They were. Look at history. When Kanye West first started in the industry, people laughed at the idea of a producer becoming a rapper. Then he changed the game. When Elon Musk spoke about electric cars taking over, they called him crazy. Now, every major car company is scrambling to catch up. When Steve Jobs introduced the iPhone, the critics mocked the design. Now, they all use it as the gold standard. First, they mock you. Then, they try to become you. Because deep down, they knew you were onto something before they had the courage to admit it. And instead of supporting you from the start, they let their ego get in the way. They thought laughing at you would shrink your power, but all it did was highlight how ahead of them you were. They wanted to break your confidence before the world caught on to what you already knew. You are different because you were meant to lead, not follow. And now they're embarrassed. They try to play it off like they always believed in you, like they never talked down on your path, like they weren't the same ones trying to convince you to stay small, stay quiet, stay ordinary. But the truth is written all over them. They wouldn't be copying if they didn't know you were right all along. And you might be wondering, why didn't they just respect me from the beginning? Because it's easier to laugh at something you don't understand than to admit you're not on that level yet. It takes humility to recognize greatness before the rest of the world does, and they were too arrogant to give you credit. So they chose mockery over learning. And now, they're struggling to keep up, because imitation will never match authenticity. They might try to talk like you, walk like you, move like you, but it always looks forced, unnatural, offbeat, because they don't have your vision, they don't have your spirit, they don't have your resilience. That's why, no matter how hard they try, they will always be a few steps behind. And now, while they waste energy pretending, you keep evolving. You keep setting new trends, breaking new ground, moving in ways they'll never master. Because you were never meant to fit in, you were always meant to stand out. So let them copy, let them chase, let them struggle to keep up. Because while they're busy trying to become you, you're already on to your next level. Number 11. They can't fake the glow. Some things can't be taught. Some things can't be stolen. Either you have it or you don't. They try to move like you, walk like you, exist like you, but something is always missing, something they can't quite grasp, can't imitate, can't steal no matter how hard they try. They think if they watch you long enough, study your every move, and mimic your patterns, they'll somehow become you. But the truth is, you can copy the steps, but if you don't have the soul, you'll never match the energy. And that's where they lose. Because what makes you you isn't just the way you carry yourself. It's not just the way people are drawn to you, the way rooms shift when you enter, or the way opportunities seem to find you while they struggle just to be noticed. It's deeper than that. It's your presence, your frequency, your alignment. Some people call it a glow, some call it energy, some call it divine favor. Whatever it is, it can't be manufactured, it can't be imitated, and it damn sure can't be faked. They watch you move through life, wondering why things seem to fall into place for you, why you continue to elevate while they remain stuck. They think it's luck. They think it's an act. They think if they mimic you, they'll somehow tap into the same force that fuels you. But they don't understand. Your glow isn't something external. It's internal. You didn't just wake up with it. You earned it. You built it through the storms you survived, the healing you did, the self-work you committed to. It's the energy that comes from breaking generational cycles, from refusing to stay small, from stepping into your power when the world wanted you to shrink. And that's what they'll never understand. Because while they try to copy your shine, they don't have the foundation to sustain it. That's why no matter how hard they try, they always burn out. Look at history. Look at the greats. Marilyn Monroe, Tupac, Princess Diana, Kobe Bryant, Bob Marley. These weren't just people, they were forces. Their energy didn't just exist, it left an impact. It shaped culture, it shifted the world. And no matter how many people tried to imitate them, no one could ever replace them. That's what you are to the people around you. A force, a presence, a light that can't be dimmed, no matter how many shadows try to stand in your way. And maybe you've noticed it. People staring at you a little too long. People copying your mannerisms, your slang, your movements. People trying to align with you, hoping some of your magic will rub off on them. You might wonder, if they envy me so much, why do they try so hard to be me? Because they know, deep down, they know you carry something rare, something they'll never fully understand, but they feel it, and it bothers them. They want it. They want the attention, the respect, the natural magnetism that makes people drawn to you without you even trying. But they don't want to do the work. They don't want to transform, to heal, to evolve. They just want the end result without the journey. But that's not how it works. That's why they will always fail. Because this glow, this energy, it comes from alignment, from knowing who you are and refusing to be anything less, from moving with purpose, walking in truth, and standing firm in your authenticity. And no matter how many times they try to copy, mimic, or steal your essence, they will always be a step behind. Because you aren't just a moment, they are witnessing a movement. So let them try. Let them waste their time. Because at the end of the day, you were never in competition. The original will always outshine the imitation. And that's the part that haunts them the most. Number 12. They'll always be a step behind because you're focused on your own path. They're trying to keep up, but you're already on the next level. They watch you like a blueprint, taking notes, analyzing your every move, hoping they can crack the code to your success. They track your wins, your habits, your mindset, thinking if they just replicate your steps, they'll get the same results. But what they fail to realize is, you're not standing still, you're evolving. By the time they figure out how you did something, you've already moved on to the next level. They're chasing a shadow, studying a version of you that no longer exists. They're so obsessed with catching up that they don't even realize. You don't compete, you don't look back, you don't wait. While they're busy trying to copy your last move, you're already 10 steps ahead, executing the next one. And that's why they will always lose. Because here's the truth, you're not playing their game. You never were. You're not moving with the crowd, waiting for permission, following trends that will be forgotten in a year. You are creating, innovating, breaking limits, and setting the pace. That's why they stay behind. They're reacting to what you've already done, while you're pioneering what comes next. Think about it. Who remembers the copycats? Who remembers the ones who chase trends instead of setting them? Nobody. People remember the originals, the ones who moved so fearlessly in their own lane that the world had no choice but to follow. Elon Musk, Rihanna, Jay-Z, Steve Jobs, Muhammad Ali. They weren't looking around to see what everyone else was doing. They were locked into their own vision, their own process, their own level. And now, they're icons. Meanwhile, the ones who tried to imitate them, who rode their wave instead of creating their own, are long forgotten. And you might be asking yourself, why are they so obsessed with me? Why are they watching instead of working on their own path? Because it's easier to study you than to build something original. It's easier to analyze your journey than to do the inner work required to create their own. But here's the thing, no one ever became legendary by chasing someone else. That's why they'll never catch up. You see, While they're worried about how to match you, how to outshine you, how to take your spot, you're too busy growing, evolving, expanding. Your focus isn't on competition, it's on creation. And that's why they will always be steps behind. Because here's something they will never understand. The real ones don't follow trends, they set them. The chosen ones don't try to be better than others. They try to become the best version of themselves. That's why you don't have to watch your back. You're too focused on your front. And that's what drives them crazy. Because no matter how hard they chase, they will never reach you. No matter how many times they copy, they will never be you. You've already left behind the place they're trying to arrive at. By the time they catch up to where you were, you've already built something new. So let them watch. Let them study. Let them chase ghosts while you build empires. Because you were never meant to be caught. So chosen ones, listen. The real ones don't chase trends. They set them. They'll keep trying, they'll keep watching, they'll keep failing, because you weren't built to be duplicated. You were built to be one of one. They can study your every move, but they'll never master what flows naturally to you. Let them exhaust themselves trying to catch up while you keep leveling up. You don't compete, you create. So hit that like button, subscribe, and drop the number 77 in the comments if you know you're the original. Because while they waste their energy trying to be you, you're too busy being great.